This is KTVO's Good Morning Heartland.
Welcome back. It's spring. The weather is warming up, which means you're probably doing some much needed housework or home improvements. Well, Nick Oliver from Lancaster Lumber is here this morning to show off some of the hottest tools to make sure your projects go smoothly. Good morning. How are you doing?
Great.
So a lot of people are probably sprucing up things around the house or maybe changing some things around the house. And you have some really cool things that could make things a lot easier. So let's go ahead and start off with this little grip thing you have in your hand.
This is basically a fiberglass cast for your shovel or whatever you ran over during the wintertime, or wheelbarrow handles. Pretty slick. You wet it and it wraps up. You wrap it basically like putting a cast on there, and it'll be stronger than whatever you put it on.
Really? So this can go for anything. So
Yep.
I mean, on the back here it even shows on some sports equipment, your racquetball racket, as well as your hockey stick or anything like that, or you can use it for your shovels and rakes and stuff like that. And once again, it just makes it stronger.
Yeah, well, I mean, for where it's broken, it even comes with a little rubber gasket in there you can put on and repair a pipe. I'm not sure I'd trust it for that. But.
Okay. All right. And the next thing, I know a lot of people are probably switching out their light bulbs and all that other stuff, and you have some really cool LED lights that are pretty cool. First
is just basic LED. I mean, LEDs were coming out there $50, $60 into the $20, $30 range. I've got these for $5 and up. Which would make a nice fast improvement. This is probably the slickest thing I got in the LED department, which is just a little cloud light basically that screws into like a porcelain socket. And it's about a 10-second install, $30, and you got a new fixture in there instead of having your little old plain looking white.
So what it does is it goes from, if we can pan really quickly, it goes from this to this, so you don't have like a little ugly light bulb just hanging out.
Yep, which it comes with a hardwire kit if you want to put it on a box, but it's really better as a retrofit. You can just screw it in quickly.
From that to that. Interesting. All right, and then what do we have over here in this can?
That is Deck Correct by Cabot, which is, I mean, the deck restorers are a big craze now, and they're good for, I mean, if either a newer deck you don't want to stain often, because the premium stain is still going to be something you do every 2 to 3 years, or an old deck that's splintered up and just looking bad.
So you use this?
Yeah, I mean, it goes on a lot thicker. It's going to give it a little bit of traction, too, with it, because that's going to cover about 75 square feet, whereas your high-end deck stains are going to cover about 600. A whole bunch of colors available, so it'll save you from doing it every year that way, or take an old beater of a deck and make it look new and nice.
All right, and speaking of deck, you this is just folded up, which looks like no big deal, right? Just looks like a black piece of fabric. But actually, if you unfold it, it's a pop-up garden for your deck, correct?
How clever.
I know. Isn't this awesome? So what do you do in here? You put your soil and stuff?
Just put dirt, which these are called the cube. They're cubic foot. They'll hold a cubic foot of soil, which like the great big bags of Miracle-Gro, 2 cubic foot, so one of those will do 2 of these. And if you set 2 of them together, they'll root into each other. Plus, I mean, they're going to last a while, but they'll root through the material. That's porous enough that they can root down through the material if you set them on the ground if they need to root deeper.
Yeah.
Or else they make a product called Deck Protect that just sets underneath them so you can set it on your deck and let it drain without causing the deck to rot from having all the moisture directly on it.
And here it just shows that, you know, if you have one or more, how you can just set up to any design you want. So you can have more than one. And you have bigger ones as well,
Yeah, we've got 2x4s. They make them even bigger than that. But these little fellas are handy at $10. You're into the raised garden bed.
Okay. And I know that a lot of people are going to start watering their lawns and stuff like that. So what do you have for the hoses out there?
Well, first, cheapest, most simple, we'll fix everybody's hoses leak after the winter. Pay $2, get you some hose washers.
Okay.
That'll stop them from leaking. I've got this handy dandy little, it's probably hard to see because it's small, but little hose nozzle, which I saw at a hardware show, and they're passing them around free, so they're made by disabled vets. So, well, nice little cause. I'll check it out and support them. But that thing has just got unbelievable pressure.
Really?
It's just a silicone gasket in there that as you tighten it up, it'll tighten the stream. And it blasts stuff. Kind of reminds me of things they used to sell on TV. It showed you how if you had a private jet, you could buy this $10 nozzle instead of paying somebody to do it.
There you go. So now you have your own little power washer in that little nozzle.
Yeah, the power from this thing is just unreal for what it is.
Fantastic. Now, kind of just really quickly, just talk about price range. What are we looking at? Anything?
These about $10, $10. This stuff, depending on size, is going to run you $6 to $10. They got 3 different sizes.
Relatively, really cheap. So
I mean, the Deck Correct is about $35 a gallon. But that's a pretty much one-time deal for you. This thing's about $30, and light bulbs are $1 a watt on the LEDs.
All right. right, so for just a little cash, you can make your projects at home a lot more easier and last even longer. So thank you so much, Nick, for coming on. What we'll do is we'll post everything on our website at heartlandconnection.com, and we'll also link up Lancaster Lumber's information as well, and we'll be right back.